I have a couple of friends who are in the child care industry,
Mhm.
like I used to be, and they are kind of on the front lines, like the nurses and the doctors and the first responders, who have to be exposed, to others. The children need care, and so the child care providers are maybe at home, with a couple of children in their care, trying to practice the safety precautions and all of that. And they're feeling some increased levels of stress where they can't really, um, they're having kind of more stress added instead of being able to kind of find ways to adjust and to kind of, you know, uh, create outs.
Mhm.
But instead of being able to get out, they have more stress being added to them um, because of the added responsibility under their
Sure,
circumstances.
sure,
Okay,
sure.
so we're going from the folks who can find ways out and find alternatives to the people who feel like they have no alternatives, no way out. Talk a little bit about that. The people
Yeah.
that you're seeing, some things they can do.
Well, the one thing that I'll say about that is admirable. You know, the people who are the ones who have no choice. They're in the essential sort of business functioning uh, types of businesses, and they have no choice. So it's very admirable from the doctors and the nurses all the way down to the people cleaning hospital rooms, right? So it doesn't always have to be the people with prestigious sorts of positions. We have a lot of people who are essential to our continued functioning. Even the people who are picking um, uh, vegetables and fruits, then that still has to go on. So
Right.
there's a lot of individuals who don't really have this choice
Radio
of
show host,
exactly,
reporters.
exactly, all the above. And sometimes
Right.
we've seen them work from home and they have, internet and so forth, but there are a lot of people who don't have that. And so
That's
I
right.
just want to commend everyone who makes the decision to continue working, but also do want to make it clear that they do actually have a decision. They can decide, and there have been people who have decided based on how safe or unsafe that their work environment is, that I'm not going to do this anymore. And sometimes it's to make a statement, and sometimes it's truly that they don't feel safe. So there is a decision in that, but above and beyond, um, I just have to once again commend those individuals who are continuing, and they have the same sort of advice or same sort of recommendations that we all do, right? And so if I'm recommending that we want to maintain normalcy in the midst of this COVID-19, for people who are working at home or people who are social distancing and so forth, the same thing holds true for them as well. Now, the additional stress that they have is that they are more likely to contract COVID-19. So, one other piece that we haven't really talked about very much is that when your stress level is high, you put yourself at risk for developing medical conditions, right? So if you are completely stressed out, you're not getting sleep, your immune system actually is affected, goes down, and it makes you more likely to be able to get COVID-19 or the flu or something else. Because your body, your autonomic nervous system functions without you even have to think about it. It's right now, it's aiding us in digestion, and it's doing all sorts of things on our breathing. We don't even have to think about that. You constantly think about it, you'll say, oh yeah, I am actually breathing. But once you find yourself, excuse me, completely stressed out and overworked and so forth, you're going to put yourself at risk for your immune system saying, uh-oh, guess what? We got to help the body out with attacking this because there's a
Mm.
problem going on. And the more resources that are allocated towards something else, the more likely that a foreign invader kind of gets in and makes its way. And so
Mm.
my recommendation above and beyond what I've already said for people who have essential functioning jobs is that they want to make sure that when they get home at the end of the night, that they engage in some form of a centering activity. That can look very different for different people. Some people are really into meditation. Some people are really into guided imagery. Some people are into just merely setting up a bubble bath. some, there's countless things that can actually happen, but you have to be aware of what works for you. It can't be what works for Alicia or what works for Jason. It has to be what works for you. And you
Exercise.
have to exercise, of course, and there's ways you can do exercise at home, but you have to make sure you take it seriously and you actually allocate time toward that grounding sort of experience. And if you don't do it, the unfortunate reality is that you just put yourself at risk.
And making that time, making sure that the family understands you need that time, because we're all in the house, and we're trying to make sure that there's some peace that typically might happen if the rest of the family were out and about and doing their daily lives, but now they're in the house, you can't escape. So you need to maybe take that time to go into your room, close the door, let everybody in the house know not to knock on the door or whatever, to allow yourself that time to de-stress and
Sure.
go
And
through.
some people's peace is actually family time. It doesn't have to be an individual thing. Some people are really, really moved by family time, and that might look like Monopoly or Jenga, or even just a family treasure hunt. That could be really fun, like taking it back to the old school and doing, of course, depending on how old your kids are and the people who are there, but a treasure hunt of some sort. Or you could even do a virtual vacation where you go online and you are planning this thing out and you're looking at clear waters and so forth. So that also helps with optimism and a little bit of hope as well. So there's countless things that can actually be done. You just have to actually put some thought into it, and you need to commit to actually doing it, not just doing it one time and saying, okay, I'm done. You got to actually do this periodically so that you gain the benefits.
Doctor, thank you again. This was a brief conversation because it just seems like, time goes by so quickly.
It does.
And there's so much more to talk about. I want to also just add to those of you who are watching, just try to be as patient as you can be, and try and practice just reaching out to friends and family. Don't be afraid to do that, and ask for some help with your clergy, with doctors, with friends over the phone, whatever you can do, just to kind of give yourself a moment of peace and a moment of clarity, really, to just, kind of let go of the stress just long enough to get yourself some help, and reach out to the Bay Area Mental Health Hour, of course, after you've done that, or to the doctor. Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Dr. Outlaw, for sitting in with us, and we'll have more to come in the future. Any last words, Doc?
I would just say, hang in there, right? We're all in this together, and certainly want to make a reminder about hope and optimism, as opposed to the pessimistic view and the morbid view, even the conspiracy theory view. Sometimes it's not helpful as well. So just try to maintain hope and optimism as much as you can, and we're in this together.
Yeah, we are in it together, you guys. Look for the Bay Area Mental Health Hour on YouTube. I will post this again at a later date, but for now, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay sane. Thanks for joining us.